Hello, everyone. You should have just taken a test or a quiz. I'm not sure of which, and it should have been on word problems and something else. I can't really remember what else. Uh, so today we're going to be talking about interval notation. Interval notation is another way of expressing the answer of inequality. It uses parentheses and brackets to show where the graph starts and ends. You could have also used this to find domain and range in one of your earlier classes. So this should be more of a recap instead of something new. So, as normal, go ahead and get your notes. Whenever you're finished with the notes, upload a picture to Google Classroom, and let's go ahead and get started. So we have two different options. We have parentheses and brackets. And parentheses mean that it's not included or open. So we usually use it whenever a graph starts or ends with an open circle. Okay? And then a bracket means that we're including it and it's closed off. And we use this whenever we have a closed circle. And remember that we always use parentheses for infinity or negative infinity. Okay? So let's move on to the actual problems. So for each of these, we have on one side to solve, and on the other, you're going to show me the graph and the notation that goes along with it. So let's start. All right, so for number one, we have 4 times the quantity x plus 3 is greater than negative 24. So we have to distribute this 4. So we have 4 times 3, 4 times x, which is 4x, and 4 times 3, which is 12. It's greater than negative 24. We have to start solving this equation. So we're going to subtract 12 on both sides. We have 4x is greater than negative 24 minus 12 is going to be negative 36. We're going to divide by 4. And we have x is greater than negative 36 divided by 4 is going to be negative 9. So over here on the graph, we know that our answer is x is greater than negative 9. Okay, so on our graph, let's start from negative 12 and go to negative 6. So we have negative 12, negative 11, negative 10, negative 9, negative 8, negative 7, and negative 6. So if you remember this, we have an open or closed circle, and then we either go left or right. So with a greater than symbol, we have an open circle, and we have an open circle at negative 9. So that's what I'm going to put. Open circle at negative 9. And then I have to determine which direction my arrow should go. So where are the numbers that are greater than negative 9? Well, they're going to be to the right side. So that means that I'm going to draw an arrow to the right. And that's where we stopped last time. So now we have to, you have to tell me what the interval notation would be. So since we have an open circle, we'd have a parentheses. Then we have negative 9. So we're not including negative 9, comma. How far does that arrow go? So does it stop at negative 6? Well, no, it just keeps on trucking. So this would have infinity. And if you remember, we always use parentheses with infinity. So we close it off with a parenthesis. So our answer in interval notation would be negative 9, comma, infinity. Okay? That's all that's new. So let's talk about number 2. So we have x minus 3 times the quantity x plus 2 is greater than 4. Let's start solving. So we have to distribute this 3. We have 3 times x. So we have x negative 3 times x. That's negative 3x. Negative 3 times positive 2 is going to be negative 6. It's greater than 4. we have to combine like terms on the left side. So we have x minus 3x, that's negative 2x minus 6. It's greater than 4. We're going to add 6 to both sides. That gives me negative 2x is greater than 10. Then we have to divide by negative 2.
Macy Trent, line 22. Macy Trent, line 22.
If you remember, whenever we multiply or divide by a negative number, we have to flip the sign in the middle. So that means that these negative 2's cancel. We're left with x. We flip the sign since we multiplied or divided by a negative. That's going to be a less than symbol now. And 10 divided by negative 2 is going to be negative 5. So this is our answer. Now let's graph it. So our options are a closed circle or open circle at negative 5. So let's put our numbers on here. Let's go from negative 8, 6, negative 5, negative 4, negative 3, negative 2. We have negative 5. We're going to have an open circle at negative 5. And should we draw a line to the left or to the right? Well, where are the numbers that are less than negative 5? They would be to the left. So we draw a line to the left. And now let's do the interval notation. So reading left to right, what's the farthest that arrow goes to? Well, that arrow just keeps on going. So we're going to have negative infinity. So remember that we use parentheses with negative infinity and positive infinity. Comma. It goes to negative 5. Okay. Should we have a parentheses or a bracket? Well, since it's an open circle, we're going to use a parentheses. And that's it for our interval notation. Let's take a look at number 3. So number 3 is 7x minus 2 times the quantity x minus 4 is less than or equal to negative 2. Let's start solving. So we have 7x. Then we have to distribute this negative 2. So negative 2 times x, that's negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 4, that's plus 8. Is less than or equal to negative 2. Let's start combining like terms. So we have 7x minus 2x, that's 5x, plus 8, less than or equal to negative 2. Subtract 8 from both sides. We have 5x is less than or equal to negative 10. Divide by 5. We have x is less than or equal to negative 10 divided by 5 is negative 2. Alright, so this is our answer. Let's graph it. So we have negative 2. We should have a closed circle since it's less than or equal to. So if you have less than or equal to or greater than or equal to, it's a closed circle. Okay? And should I draw a line to the left or to the right? Well, you have to figure out where the numbers are less than negative 2. So let's go ahead and fill these in because it actually helps. Negative 4, negative 4, negative 3, negative 1, 0, 1. So where are the numbers that are less than negative 2? Well, they'd be to the left. So we draw our line to the left. Now let's do the interval notation. So the interval notation, we have parentheses, negative infinity, comma. We have negative 2. And should we have parentheses or bracket? Well, since we have a closed circle, we'd be using a bracket. So our answer for interval notation is parentheses, negative infinity, comma, negative 2, bracket. Okay? Let's now move on to number 4. So with that one, we have negative 8 times the quantity x minus 1 minus x is less than or equal to negative 28. Okay? So we have to distribute this negative 8. We have negative 8 times x, so negative 8x. Negative 8 times negative 1, which is plus 8, minus x, is less than or equal to negative 28. We have to combine like terms. So we have negative 8x minus x. That's negative 9x. Plus 8 is less than or equal to negative 28. Now we have to start solving. So we're going to subtract 8 on both sides. We're left with negative 9x is less than or equal to negative 28 minus 8 is going to be negative 36. We have to divide by negative 9 on both sides. Since we're dividing by a negative 9, we're going to flip the sign in the middle. So those negative 9's cancel. We're left with x is greater than or equal to negative 36 divided by negative 9 is going to be positive 4. So let's put 4 here. We go 3, 2, 1, 5, 6, 7. At 4, do we have an open circle or a closed circle? Well, since it's less or greater than or equal to, it's a closed circle. And should I draw my line to the left or to the right? Well, where are the numbers that are greater than or equal to 4? That'd be to the right. So I'd put my arrow that way. So we're going to have reading left to right. We come up to the 4 with a closed circle. That's going to be bracket 4, comma. This goes to infinity, and infinity always has parentheses. Okay? Let's move on to number 5 at the second page. Okay. Number 5 is 6x plus 1 is less than 9 minus 2x. So we solve these exactly the same way we would if the less than symbol was an equal sign. So we have to combine like terms, move the variables to one side, then solve it like normal. Okay? So what we have to do with this one, we have 6x plus 1 is less than 9 minus 2x. We're going to move the variables to one side, so we're going to add 2x to both sides. We're left with 8x plus 1 is less than 9. Let's start solving. So we're going to subtract, sorry, I did the math ahead of my head. We're going to subtract 1 on both sides. So we have 8x is less than, 9 minus 1 is 8. Divide by 8. We're left with x is less than 1. So since we have x is less than 1 as our answer, we can plot that. So 0, negative 1, negative 2, 2, 3, 4. So at 1, do we have an open circle or a closed circle? Well, this time it's an open circle. And should I shade to the left or to the right? Well, where are the numbers that are less than 1? They're to the left. So let's draw a line. We have this. So that means we have parentheses, negative infinity, comma, 1. And should we have a bracket or parentheses? The answer is parentheses. And that's it for number 5. Let's try number 6. We have 2x minus 1 is less than or equal to 5x plus 20. Just start solving like normal. So we're going to subtract 5x on both sides. 2x minus 3 or 5x is going to be negative 3x minus 1 is less than or equal to 20. We're going to add 1 to both sides. That gives us negative 3x is less than or equal to 21. Divide by negative 3. I have no clue what I wrote there, but that's dividing by negative 3. Since we're dividing by negative 3, we have to flip the sign. So we have x is greater than or equal to 21 divided by negative 3 is going to be negative 7. So, since we have, Jesus Christ, x is greater than or equal to negative 7, that's going to be our answer. We come over here. We have negative 7, negative 6, no, negative 8, negative 9, negative 10, negative 6, negative 5, negative 4. So at negative 7, do we have an open circle or closed circle? Well, because it's greater than or equal to, we have a closed circle. And should we shade to the left or to the right? Well, where are the numbers that are greater than negative 7? They're to the right. So that means we should have, since it's a closed circle, a bracket at negative 7, comma, this goes to infinity, and infinity always has parentheses. And that's it for number 6. Let's take a look at number 7. So we have 3 minus the quantity 2x minus 7 is less than or equal to 34 minus 6x. So in order to solve this, we have 3. We have to distribute first, so distribute this negative. So that's minus 2x plus 7 is less than or equal to 34 minus 6x. After we do this, we have to add 6x to both sides because we need to get that variable to one side. So we have 3. Negative 2x plus 6x, that's plus 4x plus 7 is less than or equal to 34. Let's combine like terms again. So we have 3 and 7, that's 10. So we're going to subtract 10 on both sides. We're left with 4x is less than or equal to 24. Then if we divide by 4 on both sides, we have x is less than or equal to 24 divided by 4 is 6. Let's put 6. That's 5, 4, 3, 7, 8, 9. At 6, do we have an open or closed circle? This one's a closed circle. And should I shade to the left or to the right? Well, where are the numbers that are less than or equal to 6? They're to the left. So I have a line going to the left. So that means my answer is going to be parentheses, negative infinity, comma, 6. And should I have a bracket or parentheses? Well, since it's a closed circle, I have a bracket. And that's it for number 7. Let's take a look at number 8. We have negative 3 times the quantity x plus 2 minus 3x is less than 2x plus 18. First step is to distribute. So we have negative 3 times x, which is negative 3x. Negative 3 times 2, which is negative 6, minus 3x is less than 2x plus 18. Combine like terms. So we have negative 3x minus 3x. That's going to be negative 6x minus 6 is less than 2x plus 18. Now we have to move the variables to one side. We're going to subtract 2x. We have negative 8x minus 6 is less than 18. We're going to add 6 to both sides. I'm going to move up here because I'm running out of room. So I have negative 8x is less than 18 plus 6 is going to be 24. Divide by negative 8. And that's x. Since we divide by a negative, we're going to flip it. So we have greater than 24 divided by negative 8 is negative 3. That's our answer. Let's graph it and then put the interval notation. So we have negative 3 here. So that means that's negative 4, negative 5, negative 6. This is negative 2, negative 1, 0. So at negative 3, do we have an open or closed circle? This one's going to be open. And should we put an arrow to the left or to the right? Well, where are the numbers that are greater than negative 3? They're to the right. So, should I have parentheses or brackets at the beginning? Should be a parenthesis, negative 3, comma, infinity, parenthesis. And that's it for number 8. Let's take a look at number 9. So with this one, we have 5x minus 3 times the quantity x plus 6 is greater than or equal to 8 minus the quantity x minus 7. So we have to distribute twice for this one. So we have 5x, negative 3 times x, that's negative 3x, negative 3 times 6, which is negative 18, greater than or equal to 8. Then we have minus x plus 7, and let's combine like terms. So we have 5x minus 3x, that's 2x minus 18 is greater than or equal to 8, 8 plus 7 is going to be 15 minus x. Let's move the variables to one side. So we're going to add x to both sides. That's 3x minus 18 is greater than or equal to 15. We're going to add 18 to both sides. So we have, I'm going to move up here again because I'm running out of room. We have 3x is greater than or equal to 15 plus 8 is going to be 33. Divide by 3 on both sides. Left with x is greater than or equal to 11. So here's 11. This is 10, 9, 8. This is 12, 13, 14. So at 11, do we have an open or closed circle? This one's a closed circle. And should I have an arrow to the left or to the right? Well, where are the numbers that are greater than 11? They're to the right. Now for my interval notation, since I have a closed circle at 11, I'm going to have bracket 11, comma, infinity, parentheses. And that's number 9. Let's take a look at number 10. We have negative times the quantity of 3x plus 3 minus 2 is greater than negative 4 times the quantity x minus 2 minus 2. Let's start solving this. Distribute the negative sign. So we have negative 3x minus 3 minus 2x is greater than. Distribute negative 4. Negative 4 times x, negative 4x. Negative 4 times negative 2 is going to be plus 8 minus 2. Now we combine like terms. So we have negative 3x minus 2x. That's negative 5x. Done with these. Minus 3 is greater than negative 4x. And 8 minus 2 is going to be positive 6. We move the variables to one side, so we're going to add 4x. That leaves me with negative x minus 3 is greater than 6. We're going to add 3 to both sides. Again, running out of room. So we have negative x is greater than 9. We have to get rid of this negative sign. So we have x is less than negative 9. Because what we're doing is we're dividing by negative 1 over here. So since we divide by a negative, we flip the sign. That means negative 9 is here. This is negative 10, negative 11, negative 12. This is negative 8, negative 7, negative 6. Okay. I forgot to circle this one up here. So at negative 9, do we have an open or closed circle? In this case, it's an open circle. And should I shade to left or right? Well, where are the numbers that are less than negative 9? They're to the left. So, if I write this down, I have parentheses negative negative infinity, comma, negative 9. And do I have a bracket or parentheses? Since this is an open circle, I have parentheses. And that's it. If you have any questions, please let me know. Other than that, please upload these notes to Google Classroom once you're finished. Have a good day.